Hi, I'm Sarah Wilder, and this is part 23E of Surviving the Man I Married. We're at the point where the paramedic is questioning why the oxygen in my blood is so low, if I'd gotten 2 doses of epi. So she spoke to a fireman about it and sent him to go speak to Jim to get the 2 pens that he said to the dispatcher that he used. I watch as the fireman comes in the room. I'm now sitting in a chair in the doorway of the laundry room. And he walks up to the senior paramedic, and I watch his outstretched hand, palm up, with the 2 pens on the palm, and they go right in front of my face to the senior paramedic, and I see them there. I'm really glad Jim didn't throw them away. I'm so, so glad. And then I look at her face through squinty, squinty eyes. I look at her face and I watch her expression. Her jaw just dropped, and she said, "Oh my gosh, she only got 1 dose of epi. Take those pens and you go in there and somebody talk to him," because he said he'd spent his whole career as a level 1 paramedic. This isn't right. Something ain't right. So she sends him back in the living room. I'm glad she recognized this. I'm glad for that. But I wonder, why are the firemen speaking to him? Why aren't the police here? Why didn't she say, have the police talk to him? What I didn't know is there were 2 policemen in my living room at that moment. So that's who the fireman went to instigate that conversation, and he brought those 2 pens with him. She has the young male paramedics start packing their stuff up, pack me up. They quickly go to the ambulance, get things ready, and they load me in the ambulance to go. And this was quick, very quick. Before we pull away, though, she tells the fireman at the back door of the ambulance to run inside and ask Jim if he's coming to ride along. He runs in the house, and the whole time, like, they're getting me, hooked up to some oxygen, at least a cannula, because they can't get anything in my veins. He comes back out of the house. He comes to the door. He shakes. He says, "No." And he goes, "No, the guys are still talking to him. The cops are still talking to him." And that's when I realized there's police in my house. So I'm like, okay, good. The police are talking to him. That's great. I hope they come see me next. And then off we go to the emergency room. And I get in there and they're treating me. The paramedics, though, they don't stick around. The other thing they do when they do the handoff with the ER staff, and this hospital, keep in mind, this hospital ride is 3/4 of a mile away. It's very close. And I know it well. And when they see my name, the emergency room staff probably recognizes the name because, like I said earlier, um, I had been there 3 times in just 2021, June and July, in just 2 months. So a year earlier. So they drive me to the hospital. They hand off. What they don't do, that I'm upset about, is I do not hear any kind of discussion about their suspicions. They do not tell the doctor or anyone on the medical team that they're handing me off to that they have suspicions about what happened. I don't know. I thought it should happen. It didn't. So they treat me. They're taking care of me. And I guess I'm basically waiting for Jim to show up. I don't really want him to show up. I'm hoping he doesn't show up, because guess what I'm hoping? That they take him into custody, or at least take him down to the station for questioning. So imagine my dismay when he shows up. But just in the time that I was being treated, I heard the doctor a couple of times ask the staff, "Is her husband coming? Is the husband coming?" And they would say, "No, we don't know. He hasn't even called." And the doctor, I could hear him expressing a little bit of dismay. "He's not even called. All right, well, let me know if he does." And that's kind of how it went until Jim showed up an hour later. I was there over an hour. And not only did he just show up, and keep in mind, when he came to my body and leaned over my body with the second EpiPen that was only a practice EpiPen, the fake one, he was the cowboy. I'm assuming when the paramedics came and the firemen and the police came, he was the cowboy. And that's who they interviewed. Although who knows? I'm sitting in the hospital hoping he gets taken down to the station. He shows up. I'm not happy to see him. I don't know if he switched back into cop Jim. I would imagine so. Honestly, he'd been retired at that point for 5 years, just over 5 years. So having the guys in the house, maybe he switched back into cop Jim. In fact, he had to have done so, in fact, to have been let go, to come to the hospital. So he shows up, flustered, blustered, sweating, just totally out of sorts. And before he even speaks to me, or he doesn't even speak to anyone outside the room. None of the doctors, no one. He just blows in like an ill wind. He looks at me, he looks in the corner, and he grabs a chair, and really clumsy, grabs the chair, just noisy, drags it across the floor right next to my bed. And he takes off his zip up hoodie, a big heavy zip up, he unzips it, flops it onto the chair, and then he just flounces his whole 275 pounds into that chair by my bedside and does not ask how I'm feeling. Doesn't utter a word. Doesn't even take time to look me over. Nothing. He just starts immediately into this story, this spun yarn. I don't know what he's been doing, but he's at least been spinning a yarn. He says, okay, so I have to say right off the bat, don't be alarmed if the neighbors say something about the fire truck coming and leaving and coming back again. It's because they left some equipment at the house and they had to come back and get it. Okay. And I'm like, neighbors, what? What? And he goes, yeah, they had to come and go. Also, I've been keeping the kids abreast of everything. And he pulls out his phone and he shows me these text messages. And that's when I said, what the are you talking about? You had no idea how I was doing. From the moment you dialed the phone for 911, you never checked on me. You never looked at me. What is it you're texting? It's pure fiction. That's what it is. This is bullcrap. This is an absolute outrage. I was furious, but I couldn't really, I could speak, but it was like an angry, enraged whisper. That's all I could manage. But I was kind of shaking a little. And like he was just ignoring my rage. He just wanted to get through his script. He went on to explain how, oh, you know what, I better stop here. I better pause here. We're going to pause here for, I don't even know, where are we? 23F. I'll be right back. Thank you.